Are you like me and try to pack as much as you can into a very short time frame when traveling? If so, you have come to the right place to learn how to maximize 36 hours in Bryce Canyon National Park. Welcome to Sarah's Scuba and Travel channel. Let's jump right in. Regardless of what time of day you arrive at the park, your first stop should be the visitor center. In order to enter the park, you will need to pay an entrance fee or show your America the Beautiful National Parks and Federal Recreational Lands Pass. The pass is $80 and is good for a year from the month you purchase it. You will use it for 2 days during this itinerary, so it is definitely worth purchasing, especially if you plan on visiting other national parks in the area or within the next year. Entrance into the park without the pass costs $35 per day for a regular sized vehicle. That's $70 to cover the 2 days of this itinerary, so it's worth it. Once you pass through the toll booth area, take a right into the visitor center parking lot. Take some time to talk to the rangers to find out about conditions in the park, including closures, and pick up a map. The park map or newspaper has invaluable information to help you maximize and enjoy your time in the park and do so safely. There is an educational exhibit that explains how the hoodoos form, along with the layers of the grand staircase, as well as information about the wildlife in the park. There's also a gift shop. If you have your national parks passport, don't forget to get your stamps. They were actually celebrating their 100th year when we visited, so there was a special stamp available. As you exit the visitor center, keep your eyes out for wildlife. You never know what you might see, even in the parking lot. From here, I actually recommend making your way out of the park and heading back to where the entrance sign for the park is located. On the right, you will find a sign for the Fairyland Point. Take the road to the parking area. This lookout offers beautiful views of the hoodoos. If you are new to the park and following this itinerary, this will be your first view of the hoodoos, like it was for us. The uniqueness and beauty made us instantly fall in love with this park. If you are feeling like a hike, you can make your way down the path on the Fairyland Loop. This is an 8-mile hike and takes approximately 4 to 5 hours. It is rated as strenuous for the distance, as well as the ascent of 1,900 feet or 579 meters. Remember, you are already at a higher elevation, so it is important to take plenty of water with you and take your time. This hike allows you to hike evenly with the beautiful hoodoos. It really does feel like you are surrounded by a fairyland. This trail is properly named. If you don't feel like hiking the entire trail, go as far as you feel comfortable, and you can always turn around and head out. We walked about a half of a mile on our hike because there was a storm coming in and the wind was picking up. We made the decision to turn around. Being from Florida, we know how quickly dangerous storms can roll in, and we were not willing to get stuck on a trail unprepared, especially if there was lightning. If you are like us and arrive at the park in the afternoon due to travel from Zion National Park, you will most likely be hungry for dinner at this point. We really enjoyed Bryce Canyon Pines restaurant. It offers freshly cooked meals at affordable prices. This became our place to eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. After dinner, head back into the national park and be on the lookout for wildlife. You never know what you might see along the road. Drive slowly and cautiously so no animals are harmed along the way. In this case, all of the deer safely made it across the road. Stop and show your pass and government ID at the toll booth, then follow the signs to Sunset Point to watch the sunset. Sunset Point is part of the Bryce Amphitheater. This lookout offers beautiful views, especially as the sun starts to set and causes the canyon to glow. In May, it was chilly in the evening, so make sure you have a sweater with you. Bryce Canyon averages around 8,000 feet above sea level. It is much cooler at these higher elevations regardless of the time of year. You may see people walking down into the canyon. Don't worry, you will experience this trail tomorrow, I promise. If you have a clear evening and would like to do some stargazing, you may want to stay at Sunset Point after dark. Once you are ready, make your way to your accommodations to get a good night's sleep. You will need it for tomorrow. In the morning, make sure you eat a good breakfast because you have a long morning and early afternoon ahead of you. It is a good idea to make sure you have plenty of reserved water packed in the car, as well as snacks to give you energy until a late afternoon lunch. When you are nice and full after breakfast, make your way back into the park. You are going to start the morning with the Southern Scenic Route. This is a driving route with multiple pullouts to enjoy different parts of the canyon. You can choose how many you would like to visit. Each one is very different from the next. There are 4 that I recommend stopping at. The first stop is Fairview Point, which offers views of up to 160 miles away. The second stop is the Natural Bridge. This stop offers a beautiful view of one of the arches in the park. You can see the Ponderosa Forest through the arch in the canyon below. The third stop is Agua Canyon. The hoodoo sticking up in the middle is referred to as the Hunter Hoodoo. And the fourth pullout that I recommend is Ponderosa Point. This is called Ponderosa Point due to the huge ponderosa pines on the canyon floor. These trees can measure more than 50 feet in diameter and exceed heights of 150 feet. It is hard to experience the enormity of these trees from this high lookout. This route climbs in elevation. As it does, you will notice a change in vegetation with various pine trees. At the end, you will be around 9,100 feet above sea level. There was still snow present at these higher elevations due to the cooler weather and the large amounts of snow the park received during the 2022-2023 winter. What does this Florida girl do? Have a snowball fight? You would know this if you viewed my Iceland Silver Circle tour video. Rainbow Point is the most southern stop on this scenic drive. You can view the enormity of the canyon stretched to the north. From the Rainbow Point parking lot, there is a trail that will lead you to Uvimp Point. The paved walkway out to the viewing point offers beautiful views among the pine trees. On our visit, there were still piles of snow present. There are also picnic tables available in this area if you'd like to stop and have a snack. Here is one of the places you can get a good look at the sequence of rock layers called the Grand Staircase. Bryce Canyon is at the top of the Grand Staircase. The sections or steps in the Grand Staircase are named for the dominant color of rock. According to the National Park Service, at this lookout, you are standing on the top step known as the Pink Cliffs. Directly below you are the Gray Cliffs. As you look into the distance, you will see the White Cliffs. Looking down into the canyon near the horizon, you can start to make out some of the red rock underneath the White Cliffs. This red rock makes up the Vermilion Cliffs. Hidden from view, but directly under the towering Vermilion Cliffs is the oldest layer, which is the Chocolate Cliffs. The tree-covered hills that meet the horizon belong to the Kibib Plateau, which is the north rim of the Grand Canyon. These layers are hundreds of millions of years old and create the colorful landscape in front of you. When you are ready, make your way back to the parking lot. If you need to use the restroom, I recommend doing so at this stop. It will be a little while until you have access to another bathroom. Beware. They are pit toilets, which means a hole with a non-flushable toilet on top. This is roughing it for me. Once you're in the vehicle and ready to go, make your way back down the mountain. If you did not stop at Black Birch Canyon on the way up, it is also a nice pull-off to check out. Another one is Swamp Canyon, which connects to multiple hiking trails if you want to add some more hikes to your itinerary. Otherwise, you're going to continue making your way down the mountain until you get to the turnoff of the main road to Bryce Point. This is an excellent location to view the Bryce Amphitheater. With a short walk, you will come across a platform that extends out into the canyon. This is a very popular spot, so expect there to be crowds. However, there is plenty of canyon for everyone. Be patient and wait your turn, and you will be able to get all of the selfies and shots of the canyon your heart desires. Keep your eyes open. You might see some of the cute little chipmunks running around the nearby formations. They may be quite brave and venture close to you. Do not touch or feed wild animals. Bryce Point is a great place to watch the sunrise, sunset, and stargaze as well. Bryce Canyon National Park is recognized as being an international dark sky, so you might have amazing stargazing on a clear night. From here, make your way back towards the main road and follow the signs for Inspiration Point. Here you will get additional views of the amphitheater. The Claren Formation, or what are also known as hoodoos, consist of two members of limestone. The lower pink member, which is a limestone that contains sand, silt, and iron. This gives the rock its reddish pink color. The upper white member is a purer freshwater limestone. This upper white member of the Claren Formation is visible below Inspiration Point, although few hoodoos form in this softer rock. Our next stop is Sunrise Point. We are skipping Sunset Point since we visited the night before, and because we are going to end our hike here for the day. You will drive past the lodge. You can book reservations to stay at the lodge. If you would like to stay here, I recommend doing so well in advance of your trip. The lodge offers some dining options if you are hungry. You do not have to stay at the lodge to use their restaurants. Once you arrive at Sunrise Point, take in the views. You can even climb to the observation area. But once you're ready, you're going hiking. Follow the trailhead signs for the Queen's Garden Trail. This is one of the most popular hikes in the national park. It is rated as a moderate level because you will make the journey down to the floor of the amphitheater. Remember, you have to make the journey out of the amphitheater as well. This trail allows you to hike among the hoodoos. Although the park is called Bryce Canyon, this is technically not a canyon because it was not formed by moving water. The hoodoos were formed by the uplifting of land from two continental plates colliding to create mountains, eventually forming the Claren Basin, which became a large mud puddle from rivers depositing silt and debris. There was nowhere for the water to escape, so it evaporated, leaving the sediment behind. Geologists are unsure as to what happened to the lakes that eventually developed, but what they do know is that the sediment eventually compressed into rock, and it was uplifted from approximately 3,000 feet to 9,000 feet in elevation. Eventually, Bryce Canyon broke off of the uplifting plateau, and it has been sinking ever since, even to this day. Naturally acidic rainwater dissolves limestone, making the rounded edges of the hoodoos. But the freezing and thawing of the water does most of the sculpting at Bryce Canyon. Approximately 2/3 of the year, ice and snow melt during the day and refreeze at night. Ice expands, so this causes a lot of pressure on the cracks within the rocks. This chisels away at the rock. The debris is removed by monsoon rains. Eventually, the freezing causes large chunks of rock to fall away, creating windows or arches in the limestone. Finally, the tops of the windows or arches collapse due to the continuing of thawing and freezing and create the hoodoos. On this hike, you will see the famous Queen Victoria hoodoo, as well as pass through multiple doorways. Hundreds of years before Europeans arrived, the Paiute people inhabited this area. A sacred oral tradition of the Southern Paiute states that these hoodoos are ancient legend people turned into stone by the trickster god Coyote as a punishment for bad deeds and overindulging on the natural resources, leaving little for the other animals. I recommend combining this trail with the Navajo Loop Trail. We had to use the Two Bridges side of the Navajo Loop Trail as the park was doing repairs on the Wall Street side. As you are making your way out of the amphitheater, you will come to an area of never-ending switchbacks. At least that's what it feels like. However, as you get closer to the top, you will walk right past Thor's Hammer. This hike is roughly 2.9 miles round trip. Plan to hike for about 1 to 2 hours, so make sure you take plenty of water with you. Even if the temperature is pleasant, remember, you are at higher altitudes. Oxygen levels are lower, and the risk of dehydration increases. As you finally get to the top, you are exiting at Sunset Point. See, I told you we would get there. Good news, you are done with the uphill climb, and there are flushable, water-filled toilets at this location. You're welcome. My husband opted out of this hike and went to explore the visitor center. Therefore, my sister and I took advantage of the shuttle service that is offered in the park to meet him at the visitor center. The shuttle makes stops between the visitor center and Bryce Point. It is a free service offered by the park. It even goes outside of the park with pickup and drop-off locations at nearby accommodations. This allows you to leave your car parked at your hotel or a designated parking area, and it minimizes traffic in the park. The shuttle does not go out to the Southern Scenic Drive, so you will need a car if you want to complete that part of the park. If you did not stop for lunch at the lodge, most likely you will be hungry at this point. Guess where lunch is located? That's right, Bryce Canyon Pines Restaurant. After lunch, make your way to the back area of Bryce Canyon. When you get on Highway 12, you are going to head in the direction of the park. However, this time you're not going to go through the same entrance. Instead of turning on Highway 63 to go to the main entrance of the park, continue on Highway 12, past the roundabout for about 4 miles. This drive offers additional views of Bryce Canyon. You will eventually see a sign for Mossy Cave Trail. There is a parking lot off Highway 12 at the trailhead, as well as an overflow lot a little way down on the right. Mossy Cave Trail is the lowest elevation trail in the park and probably the easiest. It is approximately 0.8 miles round trip. The trail runs along a beautiful stream that is fed by a waterfall. You can hike to the waterfall to get views from the top of the falls. The water feeding into this waterfall and stream comes from the melting snow and ice at higher elevations in the park. Therefore, it is quite chilly, so make sure you keep your distance and respect the power of the water. Once you are done at the waterfall, take the short, steep hike to Mossy Cave. This cave has incredible ice formations in the winter. When we visited in May, there were still a few remains of the ice in the cave. Do not go beyond the barrier for your own safety. Hopefully at this point in the video, you can see why we fell in love with Bryce Canyon National Park. This is definitely a park you need to experience in person, and I hope you are watching this video in preparation for your own adventure. From Bryce Canyon, you can easily drive about an hour east and experience Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument, or you can drive west for about an hour and a half and experience the beauty of Zion National Park. I believe that wherever you choose to go from here, you will not be disappointed. This is a beautiful part of the country to explore. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and don't forget to hit that like button. If you would like to support future productions, you can buy me a snack using the link in the description below or show your support with a super thanks donation. Don't forget to join the Facebook group and follow me on Instagram for more content.